When it comes to influencer marketing, as with anything, you have to start out with your objective. What do you want to accomplish from it? Because if you don't have what you want to accomplish from it, then everything to follow that is going to be for naught. So diving into the world of influencer marketing, there's some really, really simple objectives that you can employ to start off your campaign and to start off approaching influencers that you want to work with. Some of the objectives around influencer marketing start with probably the most important aspect of it, which is building awareness. This is typically when I'm working with the brands that I'm working with and I ask them, what are you really looking to get out of this particular campaign? The number one thing that I hear is we want to build brand awareness. Typically speaking, it might be a new product. It might be a new brand that's launching and bringing themselves to market in a month. And they want to build awareness. They want to get visibility and eyeballs on what they're doing so that they have momentum moving into the life of their brand. Next up, engagement. Engagement can mean a lot of different things, but most importantly, conversation, right? You want to have people engaging with your brand. You want to have them conversing about something. Maybe there's a particular brand message that you're really trying to send, and you want conversation around that particular brand message. Promotion. Promotion is a big aspect. Again, think about your product or your service. If you want eyeballs on it and you're raising awareness, not only do you want people to be aware of what you're doing, but you want them to be fans of what you're doing. You want them to promote it, whether that be through word of mouth, whether that be through their own social media channels. You know, one of the things I think about is the Super Bowl commercials. And a lot of the Super Bowl commercials in this past Super Bowl were encouraging people to get on Instagram or get on Twitter and hashtag and have conversations around that particular commercial or particular campaign. And through that, potentially it might win something. So there's a whole process that we can dive into, but it's, in a sense, promotion is another objective of influencer marketing. Conversion. Conversion is huge. Direct sales, maybe you want people to subscribe to what you're doing. Maybe around the holidays, especially when people are looking to spend money, you want to get in front of those people, and you want them to subscribe to your site. You want them to spend money with you. Conversion is a really big part of influencer marketing, and if done correctly, can lead to dramatic sales. And excitement. Excitement, you want people to be excited about what you're doing. Again, all of these work in tandem together, but with excitement, it's getting people talking about your brand, it's getting people excited about your brand, it's getting people to really promote your brand to their friends, to their family. And when you tap into an influencer's audience and you leverage the trust that they have, through working with that influencer, you can really get people excited about your brand and your product or your service that you have. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dive into each segment, and I'm gonna give you real life examples of the work that I do with Apartment Bartender and some of the brands that I've worked with, and how we have employed some of these objectives into influencer marketing campaigns. And after that, going to dive into a strategy and game plan that you can employ into your business. So on the topic of awareness, on the CVJ, you're here, right? This is the moment in time when your customers or your potential customers or people that a new audience that you might be wanting to tap into, you're looking for them to become more aware of what you're doing. So in regards to building awareness, West Elm and Apartment Bartender is a partnership I want to talk to you guys about. If you're not familiar, West Elm is a design and furniture brand. And in this particular campaign, the objective was to build awareness around their design crew services. Now, one of the things that you can do when you're thinking about getting a bunch of furniture for your spot, you can go into West Elm and they offer free consultations from a design perspective. So they'll help you take a look at your space. They will help you pick out the right furniture for your space. They have install services. So there's this entire package with their design crew that they want to raise awareness about, because not a lot of people know that it even exists, right? They think all you need to do is just go in the store, or you can shop online. But what they want to do is really educate people on how to think about their space and help them fill the space. Now, the strategy was to work with influencers in key markets to showcase West Elm's design crew services. Now, I live in Denver, Colorado, and at the time when we started the conversation, asking them, like, what is the objective? What is the goal of this particular campaign? And again, it was to build awareness around West Elm Design Crew Services. The strategy really was taking a look at the different markets that they were really looking to grow. Denver, by coincidence or by luck, was one of the markets that they were really looking to push their design services in. I'm based in Denver, and so what happened was we ended up going through the entire design process, ended up outfitting the apartment. So you can see the apartment here. Everything in the apartment is West Elm, and through that entire process, ended up documenting it. So some of the tactics that we employed, and when I talk about tactics, what I mean is the action steps and the things that we did to execute on that strategy. So for me, I'm on the influencer side, West Elm's on the brand side, and so some of the tactics were the apartment makeover, right? So that was me walking through the design process, everything from understanding what their services are to outfitting the space, and through that created digital content to showcase that partnership. Now, for me, with Apartment Bartender, my audience leans on me for drink education and spirit education. They lean on me for visual inspiration, because in the drink space, there's so much crossover between travel and lifestyle and other verticals. It's not just solely cocktails. And so West Elm really fit with what I was doing, and I really fit with what they were doing. And the goal, and one of the things I told them is, like, I would love for West Elm to be the design element of the apartment bartender, right? So in terms of the fit, it was such a good fit. And so from there, all of the tactics and action steps and things that you employ are to take and leverage the trust that I have with my audience to showcase West Elm, to showcase their design services from start to finish. And so the digital content that we created was drink-related content geared towards my audience, fitting within the realm of this. And so it was everything from an apartment video tour to cocktail recipes around the holidays. And we distributed all that content during the holidays, which again are peak season for people spending. And so throughout all the content, linked to all the products so you can shop the look, you can get visual inspiration if you're thinking about redesigning your space. And that was one of the things that we did to help, again, build awareness around their design crew services. Moving over to engagement. Now, when we talk about engagement, we're talking about conversation. We're talking about getting people talking about something that you want them to talk about. Now, not everybody that uses and employs digital or influencer marketing is going to have a product that you're going to purchase. So I'm going to give you an example of a brand that I worked with that the goal was to create conversation. MGP is a very large company that sources liquid and sources spirits to brands that don't produce their own spirits. So some of the best whiskeys that you've had source their products from MGP, and they will take that and age it, or they'll finish it. But again, the original liquid comes from MGP. Now, as a consumer, if you want whiskey, you're not going to call up MGP and buy a bottle. That's not how that works. So they work with some of the biggest whiskey brands in the world. And so for them, in moving into influencer marketing, you would think, why would they work with someone like me? But a big part of my audience as well is trade. It's industry, it's bartenders, it's craft distillery owners. So as much as my audience is consumer-based, a large part of it is industry and trade, and that's the segment of my audience that they were looking to reach. So in this particular partnership, the objective was to create conversational engagement on social media to challenge the myth that just because a brand sources their liquid, that it's not quality. You know, throughout the craft distilling process and throughout the craft beer and craft cocktails, people think that, and craft spirits, people think that if you don't produce it in-house, it's not as good as someone that does produce it in-house. And that's not true, because I could talk to you about 5 or 10 brands that are using MGP's products that we're drinking on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or whenever we're going out with our friends for happy hour. And so they really wanted to debunk that myth. And so what they did in that process, the strategy in terms of working with and employing influencer marketing, was to work with industry experts and thought leaders, as well as myself, to have a candid roundtable conversation. So flew to Kansas City. They set us up in a really, really awesome bar in a really amazing setting, and they documented the conversation. Now, again, this was a very candid conversation. I was facilitating that conversation, and it was just around, what do you think about that? So there was whiskey experts, there was craft distillery owners from all around the country. Some of the people that I look to for advice, and I look to them for influence in the industry, was sitting around with them. And so we were talking about this. Now, all of the content that we created and all the content that the agency created around this conversation was distributed and used to, 1, educate, 2, capture leads, right? So through that, drove them to a landing page, capture their information, and then you start the process from there. But again, all of this was to create conversation on social media regarding liquid sourcing, viewpoints on it, and debunking that myth. Conversion. Conversion is a big, big part of influencer marketing. There's this thought that influencer marketing has to be connected to sales, and it always is in some regard, and we're going to dive into how that works. But sometimes it's not always directly tied to sales. Now, sometimes it is. In this regard, a brand that I was working with, Cooper and Thief, a wine brand, was really looking to cross over into the spirit and cocktail market. Now, typically when you think about wine, it might come with a certain level of pretension, or if you don't know anything about wine, you might feel intimidated about it. You know, you have so many options out there. When you go to the grocery store and you walk into the aisle, the wine aisle, you're inundated with options and you get that analysis paralysis. Cooper and Thief as a brand was really looking to break the mold and the traditional viewpoint of wine. And so we worked together. It was a partnership that we had for about a year. And so the unique thing about their wines is they finish and age all their wines in bourbon barrels or tequila barrels. And so again, that was what they really wanted to employ in terms of working with me, is creating cocktails and getting that brand out and building awareness in the spirits community. Now, towards the end of the partnership, we did something really awesome. One of their other brand partners is a leather goods manufacturer out of New Jersey called Billy Kirk. Now, we ended up partnering in creating a bartender bag. As a bartender and a home bartender, when I go places, my friends are always looking for me to make drinks, right? So I needed something that was, one, functional, but also stylish, because that stuff matters, aesthetic matters. And so we partnered on this, and we created this bag, and then I picked out all the tools that you would need in order to make a well-crafted cocktail. Now, towards the end of the partnership, which was towards the holidays, we wanted to create brand awareness about Cooper and Thief in the spirits community by driving and promoting sales conversion for Billy Kirk. Now, the strategy was co-branding and cross-promotional influencer marketing campaign. So I was involved, Billy Kirk was involved, and Cooper and Thief was the overarching brand partner looking to build awareness. But through that, they were looking to drive sales for this bartender bag, because I think we only did about 200 or 250 of these bags. And so we did local TV segments. We did social posts across my account, across Billy Kirk's account, across Cooper and Thief's account on social media, targeting all of our audiences to promote not only this bartender bag, but in the process, promote and drive awareness around Cooper and Thief. Because again, Cooper and Thief, their messaging really is, don't do things traditionally. They want to break the mold of how people think about wine, and they're really targeting that audience. Now, working with brands like Billy Kirk and working with brands like Apartment Bartender who don't do things traditionally and haven't taken the most traditional route, what we wanted to do was really drive sales towards this bag, which in turn was going to raise awareness around Cooper and Thief as a brand. And so this is an example of different ways that you can use, different things that you can use influencer marketing for to drive sales. Now think about a giveaway, right? So for this bag, we can also employ a giveaway where you work with someone like me and I am posting a giveaway to my audience. It drives followers, and with that giveaway, you can provide a certain code. Now, one of the things I've really seen with driving conversion and driving sales is linking things instead of just promoting people to, hey, in order to win this giveaway, go follow Apartment Bartender, go follow Billy Kirk, go follow Cooper and Thief. It's sign up, and so you're actually capturing emails and you're capturing leads in that process when you're trying to give the bag away. Another objective of influencer marketing is to get people really excited about what you're doing. Now, when you're talking about getting people excited, it's not always new customers or a new audience segment that you want to get excited about what you're doing. It could even be your existing customer base. And a lot of times the best way to get new audience and to get new customers is to excite your current customers and the people that are already on board with you. And so I want to talk to you about a partnership that I had with Hilton and give you this example of how to employ influencer marketing to get people really excited about what you're doing in a new way. So in regards to the partnership with Hilton, the objective really was to get guests and locals excited about their new changes that they were making to their lobby bar. And not only just their lobby bar, to what they were doing with Hilton hotels in general. They were making a lot of small changes and things from incorporating a little fitness center inside of the rooms. They called it 5 Feet to Fitness. They were changing up and creating a craft cocktail menu around their lobby bars to get people excited about hanging out at the lobby bars versus traveling and feeling like, I don't know if I can get a good cocktail here at the lobby bar, so I'm gonna go elsewhere. So that was the objective, again, to excite guests and locals and their current audience and the people that were already currently traveling with them, already currently in their city, and to get them excited. Now I'm gonna read kind of right from their words as far as what they're really looking to accomplish. They said a recent survey from Hilton Hotels and Resorts found that 73% of young professionals have a better experience when they spend free time on their own. Now moving down here, recognizing that the lobby bar is often a destination in and of itself. Hilton Hotels and Resorts is reinvigorating its lobby bars around the world. These often aren't major changes, but small tweaks that make a big difference. From minor design alterations to adding new seasonal menu offerings that encourage guests and locals to gather, connect, and re-energize. Now again, this is the objective. Always start out with the objective. The cocktail part is where I come in. The strategy, again, was to partner with Apartment Bartender to build out and promote custom cocktail menu released for a limited time. So it says, to draw in cocktail connoisseurs from near and far, the brand partnered with mixologist and Apartment Bartender L.A. Clark, that's me, to create and introduce 4 off-menu cocktails, including both traditional cocktails as well as zero-proof alternatives for those celebrating Dry January. So this menu just recently launched. It was launched during the month of January when typically after the holidays, people are seeking balance, right? They do what's called Dry January, and so they don't drink for the entire month of January. And again, that's just to promote overall balance and just getting your body reset after the holidays especially. And so this exclusive menu, only available in January, showcases 2020's most anticipated flavors, ingredients, and drink profiles to meet a range of taste buds and preferences. So this was the menu. And so what in terms of working with me and employing influencer marketing, so I was contracted to produce the menu, to go around and have media launches, to do a little Hilton tour. All of the content was captured and created, and we distributed that content over a several month period of time. And so I went to New York and we did the media launch there for the menu. Came actually here to Austin and did another media launch. Did local TV segments based in Austin and other places. So the goal of the entire campaign was to, again, create excitement amongst guests and travelers. Now the strategy was for me personally, to create the off cocktail menu with 4 recipes featuring trending ingredients, featuring unique flavor profiles, and zero proof cocktails, which are cocktails without any alcohol in them, because not only is that something that's trending, but it's something that in the industry it's moving towards. You want to be able to have non-alcoholic cocktail options to make it more inclusive for everybody, and that's really what Hilton wanted to accomplish. So some of the tactics and action steps that we employed to execute on the campaign was, 1, the recipe development and the cocktail creation, 2, the social posts. So around the media launch events, we created the content and the assets that we needed to release on social. So it was promoted across all of Hilton's channels, it was promoted across my channels, it was promoted across all the individual locations participating in that campaign. So this particular campaign, there were 12 locations that we worked with. So it was New York, Miami, Austin, Nashville, Washington, D.C., San Diego. So there was a number of locations across the United States participating in this campaign. And so through that also required promotion. We did local TV segments. I did a little Hilton tour where I went to New York, I went to Austin. I was traveling around, getting people excited about this new experience with Hilton that might change the way you think about lobby bars, because in the industry, typically speaking, you don't think about getting a good cocktail at a hotel lobby bar. You think, I need to go out to a cocktail bar and I need to go and get something craft and something better out there. But what we really wanted to accomplish was getting people excited about staying there, getting people excited about being included in the menu if you're partaking in dry January, or if you're just making the decision not to consume alcohol. We wanted to create cocktails that were just as well thought out and just as creative. And so through that process, again, trying to really hit on the objective, which was get people excited about Hilton's changes that they were making. And the thing about this particular campaign and this influencer campaign is I was a segment of that. Right? There was other things that they were doing with the 5 feet to fitness and putting a spin bike and different workout equipment inside Hilton hotel rooms, the small tweaks to the cocktail menu and the cocktail menu offerings that we were doing. So it was a part of a larger campaign, but the segment where I came in was really to excite people about the lobby bar experience. So diving into promotion, on the customer value journey, we're here. Now, promotion can mean a number of different things. It's multifaceted, but it can be working with someone like myself to help promote your brand. Again, build awareness around what you're doing or get visibility onto something that you're doing. Promotion can also come from your existing customers or a new audience that you want to target. So a real world example of applying promotion as an objective for influencer marketing is a partnership I had with LG. Now, LG was coming out with a new refrigerator that produced clear ice spheres in their freezer. It was their InstaView refrigerator. Now, the goal and the objective of this partnership was to promote the craft ice feature, in order to drive awareness and sales. So they worked with me to promote the craft ice feature. Now, if you're wondering what in the world is craft ice is basically clear ice. Now, in the world of cocktails, clear ice matters not only because it's visually appealing, but because clear ice doesn't have any impurities in it, so it melts at a much slower pace. Now, when it melts at a much slower pace, the cocktail isn't as diluted, and so it maintains just the integrity and the taste of the drink, because no one likes a watered down cocktail. You know, typically when you think about freezer ice, you don't think clear ice spheres. You think that cloudy, oblong freezer ice that falls on the floor and you kick it under the fridge or you wait till your dog eats it. And that's really what they wanted to attack, and that's what they wanted to promote. They wanted to promote that we have something unique, we have something craft. And so the strategy was to work with myself and other social media influencers in the cocktail space and the spirits industry to promote craft ice. Now, the action steps and the tactics that we employed to promote this partnership was to, again, create digital content surrounding the partnership. So we created a series of videos based around recipes and creative recipes that you can make at home. We did events. So one of those events was the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show in Las Vegas. And so I flew to Las Vegas and did a cocktail demonstration for their existing customers, for their team, for their buyers, for people at this really, really large convention. And so what I did was I taught people how to make a cinnamon smoked cognac old fashioned. And so bringing what I do, the world of spirits and cocktails, and application with the clear ice to promote the fridge, to promote and drive sales for that, to promote to their buyers and to promote to the trade in the industry. So it wasn't necessarily all directed towards consumers and my audience. It was used, the influencer marketing strategy that we employed was used to go towards their entire customer segment as well, in order to get people really excited, to get people aware, to get people promoting it. All of these examples are real life partnerships that I've had within the past several months, and they're all big brands. And what I want you to focus on is not necessarily the brand name, but I want you to focus on the goal, how each partnership had an objective. Each partnership had a strategy within influencer marketing, and in order to execute on that strategy, we employed a series of action steps. And so taking that objective and strategy and tactics into what you're doing, that's what's most important. I don't want you to think, man, that's Hilton, that's LG, that's this, they're too big, and of course they're gonna do it because they have the budget. Whether you have a minor budget or whether you have a major budget, you can still employ influencer marketing in your company and within your business to grow your business. It just has to start off with the right objective. And so that's exactly what we're gonna dive into. The objectives that you can employ, the strategy that you can employ for you, and how to create and think about the steps to execute on that in the next video.